In-season fertility, and I think I'll try to summarize what perhaps you're talking about and jump in if I'm wrong, but basically this is the idea that everything starts off great. Your garden looks great in, like, say, June, maybe June, July, and then you get your first zucchini, your first tomato, things are looking great, and a couple weeks later everything looks like crap. You've got early blight on the tomatoes, you've got like powdery mildew all over your zucchini plants, and basically everything starts falling apart. It's very common to see that happening, and you can have what looks like really great balanced soil and still have that problem. What's happening there is your plants are outgrowing the ability of your soil system to provide the nutrients when they need it. There's a number of things that can happen to make that happen. So you can have biological, like, that your microorganisms can die off. There are a lot of things that'll do that in the summertime. If it gets too hot, too dry, excuse me. If it gets too hot, too dry, you can kill off microbes, and then that dieback releases a bunch of nitrogen, but then and then after that, there's nothing. And so you'll get this spurt of growth, and then this soil will stop providing the plant with what it needs, and it will starve to death, basically. And when it gets to that point, especially when potassium availability drops in that high heat of summer and the dryness, you can get a situation right when the plant needs the most potassium, when it's filling tomatoes or zucchini or whatever, or potatoes. Right when it needs the most potassium is when the potassium availability drops off. When that happens, every single time that happens, you'll get early blight. If you keep that from happening, you will not get early blight. Early blight in tomatoes and pretty much every
essentially a nutrient
deficiency. It's a decision you make by starving your plants of potassium. So the next thing is, how do you fix that? In the short term, foliar feedings and drenching the soil with things that are high in the minerals that you need. I'm going to talk a bit more about this when we go into the room and talk about in-season monitoring, what you can do about this kind of thing. But that's the primary thing I see, is especially potassium drops off.